Good afternoon. I'm Tom Tripoli, and I'm here with our superintendent, Stephen Stortz. Today we're going to give you an update on the additional putting green that we've been installing. As a reminder, the new putting green is just to the west of the Niblick. It is just to the south of the Jasmine Towers, and that would make it just north of the 18th putting green. The last time we came to you, it was just being cored out, but all the details and the significance of what's happened, I'm going to leave to the expert, Stephen. But I did want to give you a reminder of the rationale used as far as the importance of the need of having this additional putting space for you, our valuable members. The Greens and Grounds Committee, in concert with our board, has partnered with Fry Strica on a strategic plan in dealing with several areas on the golf course. And of course, the details of that were shared, and those highlights were shared during the annual meeting. But one of the items that's being taken on, in addition to the tee box renovation, which Stephen will touch on again also in this clip, is the reorientation of a bunker on our practice putting green that we have over by the golf house to make it much more safe and to eliminate any potential of a horrible accident taking place there. Now, in doing so, we would then lose approximately 20 to 25% of that putting surface because that'll be dedicated to sand play and chipping. So to replace that, we needed to have the additional putting green. And so for those of you who will be teeing off of number 10, as we do our double tee starts, you would have that. In addition to that, we certainly plan on using it a bit to add some of a social enjoyment to it here by its proximity to the Niblick. But again, more on what's taking place and the strategic nature and all the expertise that's been done on this putting green, I'm going to leave to the expert, Stephen Stortz. Stephen?
Thank you, Tom. So a lot has happened since our last video update. As you can see here, the green surface has been prepared and is shaped and ready for sprigs, although it does need to be floated out a couple more times before the sprigs arrive, hopefully beginning to middle of next week. So the green has been built to USGA specifications, so it does have a 4-inch gravel layer on top of the drainage pipe that's spaced 8 feet apart. The drain does flow into the lowest point down at the bottom of the riprap, and then from that point out into the pond left to number 9. On top of the drainage, like I said, we have 4 inches of gravel and then 12 inches of greens mix, which is the 85-15, 85% sand, 15% peat moss. After the 85-15 was applied, they raked it out 2 to 3 times. And like I mentioned, they still have to float it out a couple more times. Today we have Leibold on site, and they are installing our greens loop, which is 2-inch HDPE piping. We have 4 greens heads and 4 outboard heads, or perimeter heads. We are installing infinity heads, so when we go to renovate the irrigation system or complete it in a couple years, all these heads we will be able to keep, as well as the pipe and the swing joints. Here, as you can see, we have one head on the left, which will be our greens head, and the head on the right will be our perimeter head, or surrounds head. This swing joint over here that's sticking up will be our quick coupler. We'll have 2 quick coupler connects so we can do our hand watering. We'll have one on this corner, as well as one on the other corner. So we'll be able to tie in with a hose at any time so we can hand water during the season. This should be completed today and ready for sprigs and sod next week. They'll sod the surrounds first, and that's important for any washouts and just to stabilize the soil in the meantime until we get the sprigs here. The sprigs will be planted on Wednesday, hopefully by Wednesday of next week. They'll be cut in one direction, and then from that point forward, we'll just begin the grow-in process, which will take approximately 10 weeks to grow in.
Thank you, Stephen, for that update on the green. In addition to what's happening on the new putting green, we're continuing our work on the management of the pond, which is to the right of number 10, as well as playing to the right of number 18. One of our vendor partners and one of our main vendor partners for the community as well as the golf club is Solitude Lake Management. They help us with the water management of all the ponds as well as all of our preserve areas. Today, they're out here installing bubblers. There'll be 6 bubblers throughout the entire lake here between 10 and 18. In addition, in a few days, they'll also be putting in a fountain, which will be lit, be able to be visible not only from the Niblick, but also the golf house. Now, this fountain will be on a timer and will only run during the evening time, so we don't have any unwanted water blowing either on the golf course or on our valuable members either. Stephen, why don't you give us all the rationale of why it's so important to have that oxygen through the entire water column?
Absolutely. Thank you, Tom. So adding these aerators into the pond does a lot for the water as well as the aquatic plants and the wildlife living in and around the pond. Anytime you have stagnant water, you're going to have algae blooms, you're going to have fish kills. So moving that water and applying oxygen to the water will provide a better overall environment for the fish, the gators that you can see out here in the pond, as well as the aquatic plants that we have here on the littoral shelf around the pond.
Well, that's it for today. On behalf of myself and the entire staff here at West Bay, we consider it an honor serving you as well as taking care of your valuable asset, your club, as well as your golf course. So until next time, we look forward to making your Sunday your everyday.